the government of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the insurgency there pitted several thousand Baloch against about 100,000 armed forces of the Pakistan Army, helped by Iranian helicopter gunships and aircraft. At that time, the Shah of Iran was helping Bhutto. The struggle went into a kind of stalemate and was only resolved after the overthrow of Bhutto by Ziaul Haq, who then announced an amnesty.
Whenever the Baloch have felt threatened, they have taken to arms and retreated to the mountains to wage a guerrilla war. And this time, it's no different. The Baloch nationalists are led by the 80-year-old Nawab Akbar Bukti, who is the leader of the Jamhuri Watan Party, was once the governor and even chief minister of the province. Nawab Khair Bakhsh Mari, who heads the Haq Tawar party and is the powerful tribal chief of Kohlu in the east of Balochistan, the site of the new gas and oil find. The outlawed, faceless Baloch Liberation Army, the new face of the once Soviet-backed underground organization, and Sardar Ataullah Mengal, who only politically supports the movement. He heads the Balochistan National Party and has considerable influence in Mastang, Wat and urban centers. From his hideout deep in the mountains, this is Bukti's stark warning.
Well, we have started with autonomy. When nobody gives us any autonomy, then people start thinking in other extremes, which is but natural.
The present conflict was initially triggered by the rape of a Sindhi lady doctor in the Baloch town of Sui. The horrific and much publicized incident in January 2005 deepened the resentment among the Baloch. The 32-year-old Dr. Shazia Khalid was allegedly raped by a military man on government property, the Pakistan Petroleum Limited grounds. Captain Hamad, the main suspect, was publicly declared 100% innocent by President Musharraf, even before a judicial inquiry completed its investigations.
जब पाकिस्तान के सदर ने ही कह दिया कि he is not guilty, he is innocent, और ये कि हम मेरी आइडेंटिफिकेशन परेड से पहले और मेरी पहले और कैप्टन हमाद के ट्रिब्यूनल से पहले उन्होंने ये अनाउंस कर दिया कि ही इज इनोसेंट.
एक चीफ सस्पेक्ट को यानी कि अपने तौर से कह दिया कि ही इज नॉट गिल्टी, ही इज इनोसेंट, तो बात खत्म हो जाती है. जज या कौन, पाकिस्तान की कौन सी अदालत यानी कि उस केस को लेती.
The way the entire episode was handled for the Baloch nationalists became another affront to their sentiments. Immediately, they launched a series of attacks on the government's gas installations in Sui.
हुकूमत का ये भी दावा है कि आप लोग अटैक करते हैं सुई गैस.
कौन कहता है हम लोग अटैक करते हैं? पहले हुकूमत खुद अटैक करता है, फिर बोलता है कि आप लोग अटैक करते हैं.
झूठ, सरासर झूठ, ये नहीं हो रहा है.
President Musharraf responded with a televised address, warning Baloch nationalists that unlike the 1970s when they fled to the mountains, this time they won't know what hit them. After agitations for 2 months caused major disruptions of gas supplies, the government's threatened crackdown began. On March 17th last year, paramilitary forces bombed the town of Dera Bukti. And with it, the house of Nawab Akbar Bukti. At least 33 civilians died in that campaign. An unaccounted number of Bukti tribesmen were also killed. Paramilitary forces say they too lost men in the violence. In order to understand the conflict better, we traveled deep into Balochistan's interior areas worst hit by the violence, and our car was attacked on the way. Fortunately, none of us was injured.
At the moment we are on the outskirts of Balochistan. Just a moment ago our car was shot at right over there, and this is just a mere indication of how tense the armed conflict in this part of the world has become.
Our search for Nawab Akbar Bukti resumed the morning after. On the way at Sui, we met people who used to live in Dera Bukti, but were forced to leave their old hometown. Dera Bukti is now a ghost town.
17 मार्च से 11 बंदे मेरे घर के मर गए। हमारे 33 बंदे हमारे फौजों के 80 से ऊपर हमारे जख्मी हैं। हमें बोलते आप लोग नवाबुक्ती का शहर छोड़कर जाए, हम किधर जाए? हमारे को 500 साल हो गए हैं, हम अभी से तो नहीं बैठे, हमारे को 500 साल हो गए, पाकिस्तान से पहले बैठे हुए हम लोग।
नवाब किसी को कुछ दुख नहीं दिया, सिर्फ पता नहीं ये जनरल साहब आ गया। हम लोग के अभी उजोही का ईद है, आप भी नुमाइंदा है, दुनिया खुशी बना रहा है, दुनिया बकरा ले रहा है उजोही के लिए, हम जनरल का बकरा है, हमको उजा कर रहा है। उसको बोलो को बैठ के नुमाइंदों के साथ मसला हल करो, और भी राह पर हैं बम फौज।
The district coordinator officer of Dera Bukti, Abdul Samad Lashi, has another side of the story. He claims that the Nawab's militia rules with an iron fist.
यहाँ का जो नॉमेटिक ट्राइबल ऑर्डर है डिस्ट्रिक्ट डेरा बुक्टी में, वो इतना सख्त है कि मैं समझता हूँ कि वो लोग हमें खुद कहते हैं कि जी खुदा के वास्ते हमारे और नवाब के बीच में ना आए, ऐसा ना हो कि हम पे कोई मुसीबत आ जाए। नवाब बुक्टी की पर्सनालिटी जो है पूरी कंट्री में हर एक जानता है। ही इज पॉलिटिकली एफिलिएटेड, ही इज लिंक्ड विद द बलोच नेशनलिस्ट, he is linked in the Sindh, he is linked everywhere.
He effectively challenged the state of Pakistan.
Yes, of course, I can say it openly. He has created a parallel government, एक parallel state चला रहे हैं वो। He has his own prison है, उसकी जेल है।
नहीं।
After crossing many checkposts, we reached the town of Dera Bukti. On the way, we've met families fleeing the confrontation between the security forces and Bukti tribesmen. At Dera Bukti, Commandant Furqanuddin, in charge of the paramilitary division here, greets us. He points us in the direction of the outpost, where it's now a question of him and his grandson for disrupting peace in the region. The Nawab gets around with a walker and is heavily dependent on his young grandsons to fight for a future that still remains uncertain. Has the government approached you for negotiations?
जी नहीं.
No.
Government is negotiating from the mouth of the big top, with the big gun, with the big thunder. I think it's heard all around the country, that kind of negotiations. They have been given instructions. Myself and Nawabzada Balach Mari, the two of us should be wiped out. All attention should be paid towards knocking us off.
The unrest in Balochistan is having a ripple effect in the country and across the region. Yet neither the military-led government nor Baloch nationalists have shown a willingness to move towards a resolution. But one thing is clear. President Musharraf seems to have little support for his campaign in Balochistan. On the streets of Pakistan and in the parliament in Islamabad, voices of protest are growing stronger against the use of force in Balochistan.
पूरा अवाम बलूचिस्तान का इस ऑपरेशन का मुखालफत करता है, चाहे जो स्टूडेंट हो या बुकला हो, चाहे ताजिर बिरादरी हो, सब ने यहाँ शटर डाउन भी किया था पूरे बलूचिस्तान में। यहाँ पर पहिया जाम हड़ताल भी यहाँ पर पूरे बलूचिस्तान में हुआ है, शायद पूरा पाकिस्तान में हुआ है।
फौजी ऑपरेशन ठीक है, होना चाहिए।